but you heard the voice of Jesus and you turned and walked to him, and now you're walking with him. You'll always have some folk against you, but hang in there. You'll always wind up better off if you stay with Jesus than you go with the devil. Somebody say yes. He has miseries. He has many miseries. And ultimately, he finds himself miserable on a cross at Calvary, hanging there, having been given the death penalty. Am I talking all right here? He hangs there. Can you see him? I'm coming to a close now. With his head bloody, with that thorny crown placed on his head. Can you see him? I said, can you see him? As the blood comes streaming down, his back is ragged, where they whipped him with cat o' nine tails. They've drawn the flesh from his bone. Am I talking all right here? Can you see him hanging there with those hands that once healed? Those hands that touched the deaf man's ear. And those ears were opened up. Can you see him there? Stretched out before humanity and at the feet of God. Can you see him dying on that cross? I look there and I can see his feet are riveted to the beam of the cross. Feet that had once walked the dusty shores of Palestine, on its way to heal somebody, raise somebody, give hope to somebody, love somebody, forgive somebody. They track him down and nail him at a place called Calvary. One thief on the left, one thief on the right, and a man in the middle. Can you see him? The man hanging there. I come to tell you, one of the thieves had sense. The other one had no sense at all. One of them ridiculed him. The other one said, man, leave him alone. He had done no wrong. We're pinned up here because we've done wrong. But Jesus, am I talking all right here? I said, Jesus, if you would just have a little mercy on me. Aren't you glad that even in his dying, Jesus will take time to see about somebody who's in need of redemption? And I'm glad, I said I'm glad that I know the man in the middle. I'm glad that I trust in him. I'm glad that I can call on him. I'm glad that early this morning he touched me with his finger of love. Am I talking all right here? He dies at a place called Calvary. But the thing I like about him is that even though he's got miseries, he still has majesty. Am I talking all right here? If you hear me crucified, I'll have some misery, but I won't have any majesty. When Jesus died, he had misery, pain, but he still had majesty. He died, but he was still in charge. He died, but he was still the Son of God. He died until the earth shook like a drunk man. He died until the Richter scale couldn't measure the quaking of the earth. He died until the soldiers said, surely. Somebody say, surely. Oh, shucks now. Surely, surely he must be the Son of God. They took him down and buried him in Joseph's brand new tomb. But that ain't the end of the story. And that's all I got to give you, is that he's got majesty. Because when he got up, he was still in charge. Somebody ought to say yes. Early, 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 1:30 in the appointed morning. Didn't he get up? I said, didn't he get up? Then somebody ought to say yes. Now here's what my daddy would say. Have you tried him? Do you know him? If you've tried him and you know him, then you know he's bread in a starving land. He's water in dry places. He's sight to blinded eyes. He's strength to withered limbs. He's your rose of Sharon. He's your wheel in the middle of a wheel. Say yes. Say yes. Ah, yes. Is he all right?
Time is filled with swift transition. Come on, let's stand. Not on earth, no. Build your hopes on things eternal. Just hold hope to God's unchanging hand. Yes, well, you just hold to his hand. God's, you just hold God's unchanging hand. You just build eternal. Oh, you just hold to God's. Well, trust in him, trust in him who will not leave you. Whatsoever years, if by earthly friends forsaken, oh, still more closely to him cling. Whoa, come on, progressive, and hold to his hand. Yes, God, you ought to hold God's son. You just build things eternal. Well, you just hold to God's unchanging hand. Come on, let's sing this verse. Covet not this world's cup. Covet not this world's vain riches that so rapidly decay. This is the message. Seek to gain. Seek the heavenly treasures, because they will. Come on, put your blessed hands together. Oh, come on, say now, oh, to his hand. God's, well, you just hold. Yes. You just build things eternal. Well, you just. We can't leave heaven out. When your journey is completed. Oh, when your journey is completed. If to God you have been true. The good news is fair and bright your home in glory. Your enraptured soul with you. Isn't that good news? Somebody ought to have something to put your hands together about. Come on and say now, oh. Yes, God.